The truth is, we live in a lonely place. We may be connected through social media, cell phones, but at the end of the day, very few of us are actually communicating with one another. Wagwan world, escape your workday and live 9 to 5 with us. Jen and I are back in Canada. We're so glad to be home. Today's going to be a different kind of vlog. Instead of documenting events throughout the day, I wanted to sit down and have a deep talk where we actually slow down one-on-one and talk about things that are meaningful. Today, I want to talk about something that has totally changed the way that I and the closest friends of mine, it changed the language and the way that we look at relationships. And the reason why I want to talk about this today is yesterday I was on the computer and I got an email from my boy Derek, and it says, "Hi Addison, can you please explain your story about the leaves, branches, and roots again? Thanks." And so, hi Derek, and the rest of the world. Derek, I thought I would respond this to you by sharing it with everybody. Derek is referring to a conversation that we had several weeks ago over a barbecue at the beginning of summer, where I shared with him something that I learned from my cousin Carlene, her friend named Malik. And so, Malik, if you're watching, thank you so much. Basically, it was looking at the different levels of relationships. Okay, and so we could describe it by looking at a tree as an analogy. There are the leaves, there are the branches, and there are the roots. Each represent a different level and a different layer of relationships. And so the first being the leaves. There are an abundance of leaves on a tree. It provides some shade for the tree, and it looks nice, but when the wind blows, many of the leaves blow away with it. Okay? Now you could go on your Facebook, look on your Facebook list, go on Twitter if you have Twitter, see how many people are following you or that you are following. You could go even look through your phone book on your phone, on your cell phone, and you could probably see there are a lot of leaves that we may be Facebook friends or Twitter followers, but when the wind blows, when life gets hard, are the leaves going to be there? Alright, so second, branches. There are much fewer branches than the leaves. However, when the wind blows, some branches stick through the storm and others break. Okay, an example is, at least for here, for those in Toronto, this past Christmas there was this ice storm. This was kind of an amazing ice storm, I have to say. This is the first time I've seen such a thing in a long time. If you've seen the Disney movie Frozen, where there's these scenes of like ice, like that was like in real life. After the storm, you've seen a lot of trees. Some of them, the branches had fallen down completely. Others, maybe half the branches. Others, maybe just a few. But that's an analogy of relationships. Unlike the leaves, when the wind blows, some branches are there and others stay. Now you might want to look through your Facebook list again, your Twitter friend list again, look through your phone list. I'm guessing that you could probably look at the recent people that you've been texting. Half of them are probably your branches. Half. And the reason why I say half is because we're talking about the deepest level of relationships, which are the roots. Some researchers suggest that it's only possible to know 3, 4, or 5 people deeply and very well. Other researchers suggest that if someone were to pass away, there are about 15 people in our proximity in our lives that we'd be deeply grieved if someone were to pass away. Okay, so roots. There are fewer roots than leaves, there are fewer roots than branches. However, when they're rooted really down and really strong, when the wind blows, the roots stand the test of the storm. Example of this past Christmas, when you're driving down the road, you could see that some trees, all the leaves have blown away during the ice storm, all the branches had fallen, and there's just this stump. There's just this stump, and there's these roots, and it stays there because there's these deep rooted roots. The truth is that most people in our generation and in our culture here in the West, at least, I'm not talking about those in the East. I know, at least according to the statistics, there's a lot of you in the Philippines and Asia that are watching these vlogs. For us here for the West, we live in a lonely place. Like, it is a lonely place to live. We may be connected. We may be connected through social media. We may be connected through Facebook. We can be connected through Twitter and Instagram, even YouTube. We could be connected through our cell phones and through our texting. But at the end of the day, very few of us are actually communicating with one another. Very few of us have roots. And therefore, it's very hard to get through this life. So I encourage you, I challenge you, look through Now look at your text messages or your most recent calls on your phone, and who are your roots? Who are the ones that if you were to go and have a really deep heart-to-heart with, who would be the ones that you would talk to? Anyways, that's all I got for today's deep talk. I want to hear from you. Comments below. See you in the next vlog. Adios.